Hi, Claire Day with Realty South Tennessee Valley. If you're waiting for mortgage rates to magically drop back to 3% or 4% before you buy or sell, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is 2026 is shaping up to be a more balanced, more normal market, more options, more negotiation, and better affordability than we've had the last few years. The bad news is it's still going to be a gradual shift, not a sudden rebound. So in this video, I'm going to do two things. Give you a clear 2025 market recap for our North Alabama market using local sales stats and share the most realistic 2026 predictions. Mortgage rates, home prices, inventory, and what that means if you're buying, selling, or investing. If you find this helpful, hit subscribe because I post weekly updates on what's actually happening here locally, not just national headlines. What happened in 2025? The why it felt weird year. Rates moved down, but affordability still felt tight. Let's start with the big driver, mortgage rates. In 2025, rates trended lower overall, and you can literally see the direction on this chart. Now here's what matters. Even if rates improved, they were still high enough that a lot of buyers stayed payment focused. That kept the market from taking off, even when demand was there. Now let's zoom into our local market. And I'm going to run through the counties first, then the cities. Madison County ended 2025 with 6,818 closed sales, up about 1% from 2024. Inventory sat around 3.6 months, averaged 53 days on market, and homes sold for about 98.5% of list price. That 98.5% of list is important, and it tells you negotiation is back, but pricing is still strong. Limestone County had 2,313 closed sales, up about 1.2% year over year. Inventory was closer to 5 months with about 61 days on market, meaning it leaned more balanced than Madison overall.
Morgan County had 1,362 closed sales, up about 6.7%, and it had the biggest county-level jump in activity in this data set.
City snapshot, where demand rose, where it cooled. Now let's talk cities, because this is where the micro markets really show up. Huntsville, 2,963 closed sales, up about 5%. About 3.5 months of inventory, 52 days on market, and around 98% of list price. Decatur, 885 closed sales, up about 19.6%. One of the biggest jumps, but also one of the softer pricing ratios at roughly 97.6% of list.
Madison City, 1,702 closed sales, down about 5.3%, about 3.7 months of inventory, 54 days on market, and around 98.8% of list price.
Athens, 1,373 sales, up about 3.8%, and inventory around 5 months with a longer 64 days on market. Meridianville, 469 sales, basically flat year over year, but 70 days on market, the longest in this list. Owens Crossroads, 608 sales, up about 6.5%, and the tightest inventory in the city list at about 2.8 months. This is why national headlines can be misleading. Even inside the same region, inventory and days on market tell different stories depending on the city and price point.
What the 2025 stats mean if you're buying or selling now buyers. More leverage than 2021 to 2022. But you must be strategic. If you're a buyer, 2025 quietly brought back a few things we didn't have for a while. More breathing room, listings taking longer to sell in many areas, More negotiation. Most places are no longer 100% plus of list. More options, especially where inventory is closer to 5 months.
So the winning buyer strategy in 2026 will be shop payment first. So talk with a lender early. Ask about rate buydowns or seller-paid closing costs. Sellers, pricing plus prep matter again. If you're selling, here's the hard truth. In a market where homes are selling around 98-99% of list, pricing too high doesn't just test the market. It often leads to more days on market, fewer showings, price reductions, weaker offers. So the seller playbook for 2026 is price right from day one, make the home scroll stopping, photos plus staging plus repairs, and be ready to negotiate smart, not emotional.
Prediction number 1, mortgage rates likely improve modestly, not dramatically.
Forecasters like Lawrence Yun predict a modest decline in rates, which will improve affordability. And Realtor.com's outlook points to affordability improving in 2026 because of slightly lower rates, modest home price increases, and a more balanced market. They've also projected the average 30-year mortgage rate around 6.3% in 2026. That kind of rate move doesn't make homes cheap, but it can bring a meaningful number of buyers back, especially move-up buyers who've been waiting. Second, home prices. The most realistic expectation for 2026 is moderate price growth, but with big differences by location. Homes that are priced correctly and show well will still sell quickly. Homes that are overpriced or need work will sit longer and require price reductions or concessions. Third, inventory. Inventory is expected to keep rising, which is good for buyers because it gives more options and reduces the pressure to rush. For sellers, rising inventory means more competition. You can't rely on the market to do the work for you anymore. Pricing, presentation, and marketing matter again. Finally, sales activity. It is expected that 2026 will be more of a reset year than a rebound year. More balanced conditions should lead to more transactions overall, but it won't look like the frenzy of 2021 and 2022. It will be a healthier, calmer market where the best homes still win and negotiation becomes normal. If you're buying in 2026, the advantage you have is choice and negotiation. The key is to shop based on monthly payment, get pre-approved early, and make sure you understand what concessions or rate buydowns might be available. If you're selling in 2026, the key is pricing and preparation. Buyers have more options than they used to, so you need to be sharp on first impressions. The goal is to be the best option in your price range, not just one of the listings. If you're investing, I'd focus on areas where days on market are longer and the list to sale price ratio is softer, because that's where you're more likely to negotiate terms and find discounts. So that's the 2025 market update using the local stats and 2026 predictions from industry experts. The overall direction is a more balanced market, modestly better affordability, rising inventory, moderate price movement, and more negotiation. If you want a specific update for your neighborhood or price range, comment your area in North Alabama and your budget, and I'll tell you what the data says. And if you're thinking about buying or selling this year, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help you build a plan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to like and subscribe.